Welcome to the Old Guy Bourbon channel. Why do we call it that? Well, because I'm an old guy and that's bourbon. And today we'll be reviewing Jim Beam Single Barrel, 108 proof. Now, before we get into it, please like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, leave a comment. It really helps the channel grow, and it gives me a little encouragement. Okay, so this is an unfiltered bourbon. Now, don't confuse an unfiltered bourbon with a non-chill filtered bourbon. When you see that on a bourbon non-chill filtered, it's still a filtered bourbon. It just used a different process than a chilling process. To be unfiltered, it has to say unfiltered as this one does. Now, this one is barrel number 294331, and I do believe that's a 9 and not a G. It's just these are supposedly hand numbered. You can see it's 108 proof and unfiltered, and it's a single barrel. And it's a selected batch. Now, some people, I saw a comment on one video that reviewed this, and he said, well, how can it be a small batch when it's a single barrel? It doesn't say small batch, it says selected batch. And what that means is they went through a batch of, however many barrels are in a batch that when Jim Beam makes his bourbon. 1,000, 10,000, 50,000, I don't know, but it's a lot. And they selected that batch because they have several, they got warehouses, rick houses, tons of them. So they selected these ones, and then they picked a 1%, less than 1% to become single barrels. So that's what the selected batch means. It's not a small batch. It is a single barrel, it's a true single barrel. So now every barrel is going to have variations, and mine might be better than one you pick up, or mine might be worse. Yours might be better. That's the joys of single barrels. That's why we all love single barrels. You never know what you're going to get. It's like a box of chocolates. So let's get into this, huh? Oh, now again, the price on this one. I got this out of Empire Wine in Albany, New York, and it was a list price of $39. It was on sale for $34. So a very good price on a single barrel. The color is a nice copper color. Not real light, and not that real light color you see on cheaper bourbons. You can see a little bit of where I rolled it on the glass. Let's get into the nose of this thing. Now this bourbon is 5 to 6 years old. Now, there was the original Jim Beam single barrel was a 95 proof, and it was a filtered bourbon. Then in 2020, they brought this one out with a new updated bottle. The old bottle looked better, but this new bottle, they made it unfiltered, and they bumped it up to 108 proof. Now, surprisingly, on the nose, very, very little ethanol. You're getting the standard, little cinnamon, the vanilla, that charred oak. I'm getting like a caramel apple and some orange peel. Oh, it has a nice nose, not overly powerful, but very nice. It's there. And let's take a sip. Now, of course, first sip of the day, getting that alcohol. I would know that it's at least 100 proof on that first sip, definitely. It's a little sweet. Definitely get the oak. Get some caramel, some cinnamon. You're getting a little bit of that orange peel. Let me take another sip here because we want to get a better idea what this is. Again, I'm nosing it a little bit. Still the same flavors on the nose. A little lighter now because of the alcohol in my mouth, I believe. Yeah, not overly ethanol. I mean, you definitely know there's alcohol there, even on that second sip. It's warm, starts warm in the chest, warms the throat, down into the chest. You get that warmth. It's coating the tongue really nice. Actually, kind of thick. Uh, I'm gonna take. I gotta take a third sip because I just said it was kind of thick. I want to make sure I'm not lying to you. No, it has a very nice mouthfeel. Not thin at all. It is thick. It is viscous. There's a slight bit of bitterness there, in the back of the tongue, and a little bit in the throat, just the very beginning of the throat, but back of the tongue is a little bitterness. Maybe on the roof of the mouth, some bitterness. And when I say bitterness, I don't mean it's like, whoa, that's bitter. It's just a slight amount of bitterness. The sweetness is there, but it's not overly sweet. It's mildly sweet, lightly sweet would probably be correct. You get that cinnamon. You get the caramel. You get a little, again, a little of that caramel apple, if that's a thing, and a little bit of orange. I don't get any kind of cherry or anything like that, any kind of thing like that. No stone fruits. But it's a nice bourbon for the price. Again, for the price. Now, the finish is pretty decent. I would say it's mildly long. It's a good bourbon at this price point. Now, at $39, call it $40. It's $1 away from Knob Creek 9-year-old, which is 100 proof. So it's 8 proof less than Knob Creek, but it is much older and carries an age statement at 9 years. I think this could compete with the Knob Creek. I really do. It's a dollar difference. So basically, call it the same price at full price. I got it on sale. Even better. But it is a different flavor profile than the Knob Creek. They're both Jim Beam products. Two different bourbons. Now, I didn't get any nuttiness on this. None of that peanut flavor that everybody says about Jim Beam. I'm going to take another little sip to see if I pick up any of that. And I'm not getting any nuttiness on the nose. No, I just picked up a hint of that nuttiness when I swallowed. Just a hint. And actually just a very slight hint of it. And maybe because I brought it up. Not very nutty, I would say. Definitely got some oakiness in there. But the caramel's there, the cinnamon there, the standard bourbon flavors. Then you have that apple, it's not a candied apple. Let's say like a caramel covered apple, if there is such a thing. And a little bit of orange peel, a little orange zest maybe. It's not an overwhelming bourbon, but it's a very good bourbon. On the finish, still getting that cinnamon. Starting to dry a little bit, but still coating the tongue very nice. I would say it's, pick it up, especially if you can pick it up at below $40. I think you'd enjoy it. Very good bourbon. Again, not crazy exceptional. And again, I might have just stumbled upon a good bottle here. And so, if you ever do stumble like that, I did get 2 of these. But if you ever do stumble on a good single barrel and you really like it, run back to the store and make sure they're the same batch numbers and, stock up on it because the next one might be a disappointment. Well, that's all I have for today. Finish is still there. Finish is still there since that last sip. I'm impressed. I think this would stand up well to a Knob Creek, maybe even beat it, depending on what pellet you like, what's your flavor profile. But again, that's all I have for today. Thanks for sticking around, and see you next time.